I hunt money is my hobby.
Hold up, son. We got to rewind the tape about 10 minutes. All right, gentlemen, you're right on time. You are now listening to the John Morgan Podcast with Raw Law Media, presented by RAWLAW.AI.
I don't even know if I need to introduce who's next to me right now, but this is the John Morgan. We're here with Raw Law Media, and John was kind enough and his team was kind enough to let us come in and have a conversation about him. He's got a new book out. There's an event called Grow or Die coming up in Vegas as well, too, that we're going to get into. I've been in the personal injury space doing marketing for about 6 years. For 6 years, I've tried to reach out to your side. You're like the North Star, you know, and I'm not afraid to admit it, right? It's like you were the type of person that I wanted to sit down with and have a conversation with, and I thought about when people deliver a message. When people deliver a message, it hit me today that 90% of the message is background, 10% is actually what's being said. For example, people will see Morgan & Morgan's billboards, Morgan & Morgan's marketing, and I hear it all the time. We should try to do what they're doing to some capacity. Look at what they're doing. Why can't we pull it off? That's why Morgan & Morgan is so successful. There's so many years of buildup that allow your message, your marketing to hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably why a lot of these other law firms can't do it, because they haven't put in enough work. I mean, there's firms that have been around for like 2, 3, 4 years.
Well, our greatest strength is the time we've been in business.
Right.
I mean, look, you look at a business, and one of the first things you want to know is how long have they been in business.
Right.
The longer somebody's been in business, the more credible they are.
Sure.
Why? Because most businesses go out of business. And if you've been around for 35 years and you keep growing, it's for a reason. If you pull up to a restaurant and the parking lot's full, you walk up and you'll wait in line.
Yeah.
If you pull into a restaurant and the parking lot's empty, you pull out.
Yeah.
You don't even get out of the car because you've seen all you need to see.
Sure.
So that's kind of how I look at that question and
Yeah.
credibility. It's, it's reputation, years in and years out. People say a lot of shit to make themselves feel better. You can't listen to that. Here's the truth. Our law firm is on a docket 100 to 150 times a week. Every week.
Yeah.
We try more cases than any other firm in the country by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases.
Yeah.
Our results are gigantic. All you have to do is go online to forthepeople.com, look at the offer, look at the settlements. We're the opposite of a mill. And the way we've built our firm is that when somebody comes to our firm, they don't just get one lawyer, they get 2 or 3 lawyers, they get a paralegal, they get attorney-client satisfaction. They get the best and the most deep care at this big firm because I built this firm that way, that the client comes first and that we'll spend extra money on people to make sure that happens. So, look, people have been saying it for a long time, but the numbers don't lie, and it's not bragging if it's a fact.
I agree with you. And that's actually my favorite part about your personality, is you say it how it is. And so I saw this. Forbes recently named you a billionaire, self-made, right?
They had another article where they named the top 250 self-made people in America. They had me at 92. They had Oprah at number 1. They had Clinton at 8.
Yeah.
They had Leonardo DiCaprio ahead of me, but they had Mark Cuban behind me, which I'm like, why did they do that? Because he's bigger than me. But I am self-made because I started, when you start from scratch, you're self-made.
Right.
So they had it right about being self-made.
Right.
But with that said, I understand what happened in my life because I'm the only one that has seen the whole movie. And what I know is that there were 1,000 left turns, 1,000 right turns, 1,000 U-turns, and one turn, one different turn changes everything. Everything.
Explain that to me, please.
Explain it like this. Okay, I'm in law school. I go to church every Sunday, but I'm not a daily mass guy. But one day I go to law school. I go to the mass. I go to mass, and 5 o'clock mass. I get in the communion line. I look ahead at me, and there's this girl in a pair of terry cloth shorts and a spaghetti top, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, that is unbelievable. And then I'm like, well, she's got to be ugly. And then she turns around, and she's not ugly. And so I go out and get her name and number. It turns out her name is Ultima. It turns out she's already graduated law school.
Wow.
It turns out she's teaching legal writing at the law school, and I get a date. If I don't go by chance to church that day, I don't marry her, I don't have my kids, I don't have my grandkids. And by the way, she's been one of the big supporters of me in this whole journey. She's the one that would always say go. So that's just one example. There's thousands in life and love and business where you take a turn and it turns out to be good. You take a turn, it turns out to be bad. And then we get to the end and we look back and we want to say that we did it all. And of course, the reason we want to say it was all us is because we really did work hard. I mean, I worked my fucking ass off. Nobody worked harder than me. So when I take that, but guess what? Here's the lucky part of life. Today in the jungle, a sloth will be born.
Okay.
The sloth is fucked.
Yep.
Day one. They can barely come down. They come out of the tree once a day just to shit and can go back up and sleep. Just biologically, they're fucked. A lion is born, and he's the king. She's the queen.
I gotcha.
And all they did was be born. We're born in America instead of North Korea. We had good parents instead of bad parents. We went to good schools instead of bad schools.
Right.
It's all these different turns and twists, and then you end up here. And when you end up here, you can't just say, hey, it was all me, because it wasn't. There was a lot of luck along the way, and we're lucky to be workers. Shaq, when Shaq was here in town, I had a restaurant down the street called Dennis Scott's 3Ds, and Shaq was here, and we were friends. But Shaq couldn't be Shaq unless he was 7'2". I couldn't be Shaq ever. Ever. I could barely be Muggsy Bogues. But because I can't dribble like Muggsy Bogues. But did Shaq do anything other than be born to be 7'2"? No. But Shaq did take that God-given luck and worked his ass off. I watched that guy from San Antonio. He doesn't even look like he's walking on stilts. Wimpy. Yeah. But I mean, he might be before it's over the greatest of all time.
I could see it happening.
I can't believe what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's out there, hitting threes like he's Steph Curry from half court. And so, and I'm sure he's going to say, I did it all myself, but I got news for Wimby. Unless you're built like a windmill and can run like a gazelle and shoot like Steph, I mean, there's just a lot of genetics that fall into life. And the reason it's important to acknowledge it is because when you acknowledge it, you can be more grateful for it. So
you mentioned there's a lot of luck. You have a book called Life is Luck. I would love for you to talk to me about the book a little bit. But something else that really stuck out to me that you just said was you're born in whatever situation you have. There's really no way around that, obviously. How does someone find what that given talent is, too, right? And like, how did you do it? And how do we tie it into this guy right here? Because I love the fact that this is called Life is Luck, and I think, it was Obama that said it, too. Like, he was like, life is all about luck. Like, he even said he's like, I think he said 70 to 80% of his success is because of luck. It's just the way it works.
He's right, and I was very close with him. I went to his.
Oh wow.
I went to his 50th birthday party at the White House. I went to Michelle's 50th birthday at the White
Dang.
House. I went to the state dinners at the White House. I went to the last party at the White House. And Obama gets it because he is lucky. But he was also lucky because he was born with some magic. I mean, that guy just has magic.
Yeah.
And certain times there's certain people in life that almost are divinely inspired. Abraham Lincoln was divinely inspired. Martin Luther King was divinely inspired. George Washington was divinely inspired. I think Barack Obama was divinely inspired because he was just so awesome. So the book is about, not about my life, but about my life stories and how luck played a part in my life story. Okay. But what I also wanted to say, and for people who are thinking about buying the book, this is not to say, hey, life is luck, there's no way. This is a how-to book.
Yeah.
This is a how-to book to find luck. So let me tell you about luck. There's 3 types of luck. There's pure luck, lightning in a bottle.
Okay.
Or bad pure luck, a bolt of lightning hits you and kills you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? That's
yeah.
a form of luck.
Okay. Got it.
You had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Then there's planned luck. Benjamin Franklin sees the lightning in the sky and goes, "What's up there?" When it starts being he gets a kite and a key and he lets it up and all of a sudden,
got it.
His mind made him plan to experiment and harness electricity. That's planned luck. How do you get planned luck? You plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You try. You look for opportunities. And then there's practiced luck.
Okay.
Practice luck goes like this. One time, Grant Hill, who's a buddy of mine and partner of mine in a bunch of things, he made the greatest pass of all time in college basketball, threw the ball the length of the floor, hit Christian Laettner. He turns around and beats Kentucky at the buzzer, the pass. One time on the way home, I said to Grant, how did that pass come to be? We practiced it every day in practice. We practiced it every day in practice. We tried it against Wake Forest, but I threw it down the sideline. It didn't work, so we started moving the middle of the court. So when it came time, Kentucky's up by 1, 2 seconds left. They take the ball out under the basket. Grant says, Coach K calls timeout. He says, Grant, can you make the pass? He says, yes, I can. He says, Christian, can you make the shot? Yes, I can. Then let's go out and win this game. Boom, boom, boom. When you see it on TV, you're like, that's just pure luck.
Yeah.
It's not pure luck. Pure luck's getting hit by lightning. This is planned luck and practiced luck that has been practiced over and over again. On Sundays, you'll see a football team down, by 3 or 4 points with 90 seconds left, and they're on their 5-yard line, and then they go the length of the field. They practice that 2-minute drill over and over and over and over again. Practiced and planned luck. So this book is a way for us to find luck, to enhance luck, to get return on luck, to turn bad luck into good luck, and to make failure your friend. This is a how-to book to be successful.
That's super interesting that you say all that, like the practice luck, because nobody knows that though. Like you said, everyone on the outside just thinks of it as lucky, but it's like I saw this thing once of Usain Bolt, and it's like he practiced X amount of years for like 10 seconds, right? For the 10 seconds that he had to show up and perform. And I love that. Thank you for saying that, because I had a conversation with my son 2 weeks ago. My son plays basketball. He's 10, and he's in the AAU. Absolutely obsessed. And the coach tells him, like, Noah, you need to lead this team. Like, unfortunately and fortunately, you have a talent. You have to put that on your shoulders. And so he did really bad the first game. And I told him, I was like, dude, you go to practice for 2 weeks and you come 2 times a month to play 3 games in a row. You have to turn on today, dude. Like, this is what you're doing it for. If you're going to show up here and be shy or be scared or nervous, it doesn't make sense. You have the responsibility of like being the leader.
And what you're saying to him about the practiced luck is this: repetition
Yes.
makes us luckier.
Okay, so thank you.
Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah.
Repetition. You do it over and over and over and over again. That practiced luck makes you great. When you see Steph Curry shooting the ball, that didn't just happen.
No.
It's like your son. I mean, when we see your son doing that later, you're going to be saying, nobody has any idea the hours you spent hooping with that guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're helping me lead to the next thing, so I appreciate you, man. You said repetition. So I used to love music. Well, used to. I still love music. And so one thing I learned about music
I've
is...
got a big part about music in this book.
Do you?
You're going to love it.
Oh, my
I
God.
got 2 chapters about music.
My better half, we're expecting a daughter in 2 months, has been forcing me to read. So I'm in on Kindle right now. Okay, wait, before I lose my train of thought. Repetition is catchy. Repetition is catchy. I learned that about music, right? That's the chorus of the song typically, or something that's in the beat or the music or the instruments. Morgan & Morgan is repeated so many times. And so I want to get into a little bit of marketing. You are a absolute giant when it comes to marketing. I have so much respect for sorry for lack of terms, but the balls that you got, dude. Like you literally have no fear, and it seems like you don't give a fuck what people say as long as you can get your message out to the people that need to see it. Like your billboard like this with your, like, man, dude, it's just, you come up with these things, or whether it's you and your team, you have the courage to put it out there, whereas like so many other business owners, especially in your space, do not have the balls. Can you talk to me about where the hell did you develop that strength? How do you handle the criticism that comes with it? And why do you do it at such a high level? Obviously, I know it works, but I want to understand what's in your brain, because
as far as the criticism goes, I have a real simple answer to the critics. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, so that's number one.
Yeah.
This is the fucking rules.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the rules. I'm gonna go win.
Sure. Yeah.
And a lot of people have this, they look at it, it's what they can't do or what they won't do. Mm-hmm. And comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison makes you're not mad at me, you're really mad at yourself because you can't do it. What I decided, as far as some of my messages, it goes like this. I believe that being self-deprecating is a winning strategy.
So, dude, keep going, because this is yes. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
So when you look at me. I'm not the guy on the billboard with washboard. Of course not. You know, I tell people all the time. When they ask me why am I so tan, I tell them very simply, brown fat looks better than white fat. And hard brown fat is almost like muscle. So I'm a fit guy here. So obviously that's not my stomach.
Sure.
And but people see it and they laugh. And when you can laugh at yourself with others, those people tend to come along, I believe.
Yeah.
So I've always done that. I've always taken shots at myself first, because then it stops them from shooting at me themselves. When you shoot at yourself, you call yourself fat first. How can they call you fat after that?
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And you can't hurt me. I've been hurt.
Yeah.
I've been hurt. You know, when my brother got hurt, I got hurt so deeply that I'll never feel pain like that again. You can't hurt me with words.
Right.
The only thing that can hurt me is something that happens to my family.
Yeah.
That would hurt me. Nothing else can hurt me. So I do it, and it works, and I have a budget, and I have a formula, and I have a cost per acquisition that I want to get with my whole spend.
Yeah.
And as long as that's clicking, and if it keeps clicking, I'll spend more and more money, and they'll say, how much money will you spend? it's like this. As long as I know I'm getting X amount of cases for X amount of dollars, I look at it like this. If I told you that every time you went into the drive-through teller and put $100 in the bank, that the bank would take your 100 and give you 100, but you could only do it one time per drive-through. How many times would you circle that bank a day to do that?
Yeah. I mean,
repetition.
Repetition.
like you just be doing
Clockwork,
motherfucking donuts. You just be, you just, I mean, that's all you would do.
Right.
So as long as I'm getting that kind of return and I can quantify it, I'm going to stay in that drive-through teller, and I'm just going to stay there, and I'm never going to leave it. I'm just going to put my 100 in, get back to the back of the line, and I'm never going to do nothing but circle.
Yeah.
And so it's working. And until it stops working, I'm going to keep driving through the drive-through.
You mentioned money and spend and marketing, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if I have some of these numbers off, but if I'm correct, I believe that you had said you guys had spent $350 million on marketing last year, and this year the goal is $500 million. Right?
It'll be like $550 this year.
So more than that. When you break that down, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not like around, like for last year at least, I think like $600,000 a day, man. That's a ton. That's a ton. And that leads me into, I assume you're going to be talking about some of these subjects at Grow or Die in Vegas, right?
I'm gonna lay out all the mistakes I've made and the blueprint if I was a lawyer starting now or starting in the middle or starting toward the end, because I'm going to be talking about succession. And a lot of people finish their career and their firm just goes away.
Yeah.
And they get nothing for it. And it was their most valuable asset. But there's things that are happening now in the legal space that shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I agree with that. Succession, you say that, it reminds me of that show, which I love. But so the spend, the marketing, and I know you're going to talk about all of this at Grow or Die, so I kind of want to get into it a little bit. The majority of my, 60% of my audience is law firms and lawyers. So I heard you recently say, you spoke about radio. And I have a really good friend in the radio space in this industry, and he advocates for it. He does very well. He does great work for his clients. But you said radio works. There's a lot of people that are completely against it right now. I'd love to get your take on radio, and then I'd love to get your take as well on billboards. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna push something in real quick. The billboard thing works for you because you do what we just said. It's having fun. The majority of attorney billboards is like John Doe law, and it's like everybody back to back to back is just wearing a suit and tie and smiling and keeping it super simple, and then all of a sudden you keep going down the highway and here comes you doing everything to get the attention of the people on the highway. And I don't think people understand that. I think they see John Morgan's got billboards, they're like, all right, we need billboards, but then I think they pour and feed their ego by just putting on like a prom picture rather than going out there and doing something.
Or a picture of them 30 years ago and doesn't look like them in real life.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like the realtors. You get some chick will give you her real estate picture. You're like, damn, damn, and then you meet her. You're like, fuck, the hell was that? That ain't right. You're like, is that you? That ain't you. Yeah. It's like a dating, a dating site.
What do they call it? Catfishing you?
Catfishing. You're like,
Yeah.
Those realtors' pictures are unbelievable.
So to talk to me about, let's start at radio real quick, right? Because I know are you gonna be touching on these subjects in Vegas?
Somewhat, but I will. But radio is radio is in decline for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Because of social media. And what people like about social media, first of all, everybody likes new toys instead of old toys.
Sure, I understand
just in
that.
general.
Yeah.
The thing about social media, though, that is making advertisers flock to it, is it's quantifiable.
Mm-hmm.
There's clicks, click, 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 click. They can click and then move, and then I can see that they came here and we got them, and then the return on the money.
Yes.
You don't see that. You can't see that. Well, you can't see it with radio. You can't see it with TV. And you can't see it, but you can see it with social.
Thank you.
And that's what business is like, because what it is, it's certainty.
Yes.
It's certainty. If you knew that you were going to pay $1 and get that jar of M&Ms, and that's $1, okay. If that thing is empty or blocked, you can't see what's in the M&Ms, so I'll give you the jar, and you don't know how many M&Ms are on it, and I give you $1 and you open it up and there's no M&Ms, or you don't like that.
Yeah.
People want certainty.
Right.
So that's hurting radio right now.
So if you don't mind, I want to just jump in real quick. Okay, so I've been in the industry with personal injury lawyers for 6 years. You just touched on something that I love. This is like a subject that I really am deeply passionate about. I realized that there was an issue in the industry, which is what you just said. There was like 5 forms of marketing that I was able to at least pick apart in this industry. And it was Google, right? Radio, TV, billboard, and then social is now a player today. It's legitimately becoming a player now. And people used to come up to me and be like, well, why do I do social? All my budget's in radio, all my budget's in TV, all my budget's in billboard. And it's not that you have to stop any of those things, because clearly it works to some capacity. But social media is the one place that I think triumphs all the other ones, because what you just said, when you're buying billboards, people are seeing, like, you're getting sent, these are the number of impressions or people driving by. These are the people potentially watching your TV commercials. I haven't watched a TV in 6 years unless I'm in a hotel. So last night I did.
And if you do watch TV, what's the most watched channel?
Netflix? I don't even know if that's a channel.
No, YouTube.
Oh, yes, exactly.
It's not the Netflix, it's YouTube.
Yeah. And that's where people should be putting their, right?
We have our own show start. What's it called, Alex? The True Trial Story.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our own TV show on YouTube called True Trial Stories.
Is that like keeping up with the Kardashians, but the Morgans?
Yeah. True Trial Stories.
Oh my God, that's sick.
So, but we recognize the power of YouTube.
Yeah.
And you got to recognize it. But on the other hand, let me tell you this: it's like I look at radio and social media like sugar. Think about 2 sugar cubes.
Okay.
There's one sugar cube, and that's where all the ants are, and they're crawling up and they're crawling over each other. Everybody's looking to get something on social media, that sugar cube. The radio, there's very few ants. They've all left that sugar cube and gone to this sugar cube. The good thing about radio and that sugar cube is you might be the only 1 or 2 ants on that sugar cube. And so while you think it might be advantageous to be over here, it might be more advantageous to be over there and to be on the sugar cube all by yourself, getting all that sugar or most of that sugar with a few people.
That's smart.
So it's like a meal. I look at it as a meal. Meal has to be balanced. You have a protein, a starch, a vegetable, a salad, and a dessert. You don't just want a big T-bone every night, because it's not a balanced meal. So my balanced meal is radio, television, social, and I mix it all up, and then it all comes together for a great meal.
Beautiful. And I assume that's going to be a subject point in Vegas as well,
yes,
too.
It is.
Can you tell me about what people can expect in Vegas that might still be on the board? I've been pushing your show, by the way, and trying to get people to keep buying tickets. But for anybody who's on the edge or has been watching my stories or seen the link in my bio and not bought a ticket yet, can you talk to us and tell us what they're going to be expecting and why they need to be there?
What they can expect is this. Pretend that you're going to a firm retreat with John Morgan, and we're going to examine everything about your business and the way I do my business. For example, just one little thing. I'm going to ask everybody to make a list of every employee that works in their firm.
Okay.
Every employee, front desk, everybody, put their name down, and then next to the name, you're going to put a yes or a no. And the question is this: what would you do if that person, knowing everything you know, applied for a job at your firm? Would you hire them, yes or no? Not would you fire them, would you hire them? Like Heather up front that you met when you came in.
Yep.
Heather, yes or no? I'm a yes for Heather. There's going to be a bunch of drills like that. And then what you're going to do as a lawyer, you're going to look at that list. You're going to be looking at your firm. And if there's a lot of no's and a few yeses, you're going to get to see it in black and white. I do this every year for myself.
Yeah.
Next drill, same names. Are they an A, a B, or a C?
Got it. You're talking about player level, right?
I'm talking about A.
Yeah.
A, B, or C. What is, Heather, what A, B, or C? And then you rank them, A, B, or C. The C's got to go. The C's got to go, and the A's can never go. If you lose an A, it's devastation.
Yeah.
If you lose an A, you just lost Tom Brady to the Bucks.
Really?
But if it's a C that you don't care about, and so the seminar is going to be as if we were in a firm retreat together and we're examining our firm the way I examine my firm for the next year and for the future. So there's going to be a zillion things like that they're going to be able to take home and go back and then plan their luck. Remember this: hope is not a plan. A plan is a plan.
Yeah.
What Vegas is going to be for lawyers that decide to come here is going to give them a roadmap and a plan. And the lawyers that come, I will promise you this: it will be the single greatest legal seminar they've ever attended in their life. How's that for a guarantee?
Fucking great. I want to touch on social just a little bit, man. Just a little, because you guys are fucking crushing it, right? So, like, you guys are look, I think I'm the best at what I do. Because
we hired a guy that ran Geico's all social.
Yeah.
And then the Andrew, who was with Google. We hired the A's.
Oh, I know, dude. I see you. Trust me, I live on social. This is all I do, right? And I do it for firms. And the one thing, and why I want to touch on it just a little bit more, because I'm very, very impressed by how you guys do yours. But why I want to touch on it a little bit more is, like, going back to the subject I was just talking about, how there's a lot more quantifiable metrics. Kevin O'Leary talks about it all the time, how he's like, social media people used to be paid this, now they're this, and they're this valuable. And like the conversation I have with people is like, you can actually take social media pieces, geo-target them the same way that you're doing all these other things, and literally feed it to the audience, right? Like, I got a client in Houston, and we're doing a campaign right now, and I was like, look, you like the Galleria Mall? Let's go ahead and record content that's going to be posted for 60 days in a row, and we're going to just dump that into the Galleria Mall for 60 days, and on day 61, we're going to take the crew and film you walking around the goddamn mall, and you see how many people recognize you after 60 days. That's how powerful social media is. And I've been trying to tell people and help them understand that. And so what was it for you guys, and when did you guys figure out, like, man, this is a real player and we need to jump on this right now?
On social?
Yeah.
Well, listen, in my book, one of the most important things I write is this. And I'm not saying this to try to, oh, yes, you are smart. I'm not a smart person.
Bullshit.
Well, I'm a different smart.
Yeah.
I'm a different smart.
Okay.
I'm a different smart. I'm a street smart person. I'm not, the line goes like this: I'm not smart, but I'm smart enough to know that I'm not smart and what I'm not smart about, and smart enough to go find people who are. The most dangerous person in the world is a dumb fuck who thinks they're smart, and we are full of those people.
Yeah.
I know what I don't know. I know, look, my age makes me, my grandchildren come in, I don't even know how to fucking turn on YouTube. These guys come in, they're grabbing wands, they're 4 years old, all of a sudden there's YouTube on.
Yeah.
I have to go across, some of them live across the street, but I have to go get them to turn my damn TV on. But because they fucked it up when they were there before, I was like, don't touch my fucking remotes.
Yeah.
But, so I know what I don't know. I don't. Alex has been a very critical part for us because of what he knew, what he knew, and he was at an early part of this when he was doing it with, I guess Coach Raveling and Calipari, and so I knew what I didn't know, but I knew what Alex knew. The guy that we got from Geico, I knew what he knew. I don't need to. I can't teach him. He can teach me.
Right.
The guy from Google. So it's very important, and it's also very important as you get older to bring in young blood. What a lot of these law firms do is these old bulls get to be old bulls, and they're not even typing their own, they're dictating their email messages. And so they're lost. And so what you got to do is you got to change with the times. And sometimes changing with the times means young blood.
Yeah.
Because young blood are in tune to new things.
Well, so let me ask you this, because you're about A players, you're about talent. For law firms out there that, let's say, have control problems, or they hire cheap, scared to spend the money for talent, what do you have to say to them? Because clearly you're full of Avengers. And so if your model works, there's a lot of people out there that may be scared to follow it, but, you know, what is it, what should they understand about making that investment in the talent?
What they should understand is this.
And there's a timeline, right? Like sometimes you have to cut back on a little bit of profit to invest in the talent to be able to grow the business, right?
Right. Well, look, it's not, one of my sayings is nothing's about today, everything's about tomorrow.
Heard that, yeah.
And the reason that, look, the very first year that I made $1 million, I was 41. Be like, oh, no, bullshit. No, because I was pouring all my money back into the business.
Wow.
Pouring it back into the business. But what I would say to people is this. Number one, you get what you pay for. Okay? You hire a shit lawyer and pay them shit money, you're going to get shit results.
Right.
And if you feel okay with that. But if you're going to build, I look at my businesses, whether it's my attraction businesses or my hotel businesses or any of my businesses, if you're going to build a business, it's like a circus. What kind of circus do you want to be? There's two types of circuses. There's a circus that you pull down and see a Piggly Wiggly in a shopping mall, and there's like a tent, and you pull into that circus, and there's like a broken down elephant with one tusk, and there's a seal flopping around, and there's a drunk clown, and there's a few people in the audience. That's one kind of circus.
Yeah.
That's a shit circus.
A shit place to be.
That's a shit circus. But if you want to build the greatest show on earth, which Ringling Brothers was, if you want to build the big top, where the guys in the ring with the lions and the tigers and the bears, and the guys up on the high wire walking with no net, remember this. Why do people come to that show? You know why they come? They want to see the guy in the ring eaten by the lions, and they want to see the guy on the wire fall to his death in front of them like Dale Earnhardt at the Daytona 500. So, if you're going to build that kind of circus, how do you not get eaten? How do you not get killed? Here's how. Here's the secret. With the animals, love them and feed them. Love them and pay them. And how do you not fall off the wire? Focus. The answer to that question is love them, feed them, focus. And then you can build the greatest show on earth. But if you try to go cheap with a drunken clown and a one-tusk elephant, you're going to be a shitbird lawyer for the rest of your life.
Man, I got too many things in my head, man. First of all, what you said was you talked about how people want to see them fall or get eaten, right?
Nope.
That reminds me of Conor McGregor, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Why do people sell out
The
these
gladiators.
things? Yeah, the gladiators.
Listen, it goes all the way back to Christ. I mean, they want to see death.
Yeah.
They want to see us die.
So interesting, man, that you framed it that way. It makes so much fucking sense. Okay, well, you brought up the theme parks. I've limited time with this man, guys. I'm sorry. You have theme parks. I heard you say in one of your podcasts, and I think it was the one with PBD, who I love him, by the way. That was your... No, it wasn't PBD. It was another one. But you said one of your proudest things that you've ever done is one of your WonderWorks things, the backwards building, right?
Yeah, upside down.
There's a lot of people in the industry, and I might be wrong, but at least a lot of the people in my network don't even know that you do that to some capacity. Can you tell me about why that's your most proudest venture, or like your proudest project maybe you had said it was?
It's my proudest project because it's what I call in the book a moonshot. Most of the things I do, I call it bullets before bombs. Before I go do something, bullet. When I know I'm hitting, then I drop the bombs. I don't start dropping bombs till my bullets are hitting.
Yeah.
This was a moonshot because if there was no net, but I had an idea, I had a vision. And the vision was to build kind of a quasi-science center, but make it very entertaining, make it a place that children wanted to come and the parents wanted to come. And then somebody showed me this rendering of a building turned upside down. And I just loved it. And it was a moonshot, because if I'd missed badly. And I opened it up in 1997. The first one's right out here on International Drive. If y'all want to go, I'll comp you today. And
Whoa.
yeah, you're in Orlando, baby. You're in the entertainment capital. And so I built it, and I opened up in March of 1997. And the reason it's the proudest thing I've done is because, first of all, if I had, Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum are my heroes in life, and Abraham Lincoln, and my new hero in life is Zelensky from Ukraine. But I love fucking fighters. But I love the entertainment business, and I did it on the side, and it worked. And today, I've got 6 WonderWorks with no debt and $33 million a year in EBITDA, and it's a side hustle. It's not my main shit.
It's wild, dude.
It's wild.
Holy shit.
And I love it because it's a business. The law business I'm in, I'm fighting all day long, fighting somebody, fighting. The great thing about WonderWorks, you come in, you buy a ticket. Everybody's laughing. If people want their ticket back, their money back, they come back and they go, "Hey, it wasn't what I wanted." And we say, "Let me see your ticket." And if they were in there for like less than an hour, we give them their money back. If they give us a ticket and they were there for 4 hours, we say, "Fuck you, get out the front door." You did like it.
Yeah.
And so I like it because it's just a business that's fun. It's different. If you Google the 10 most interesting buildings in the world,
That one's coming up?
always. One of them is.
Sick.
One of them is.
Yeah.
And then I built another thing called Alcatraz East,
Yep, I've heard. Yep.
which is
Looked
also a
up.
big hit. And then my newest thing is with Guy Fieri. I built the first one in Pigeon Forge called Downtown Flavor Town. Think Guy Fieri meets Dave and Buster's.
Oh, sick, dude.
And so I'm opening my second one up in Myrtle Beach at the end of the month.
The Alcatraz one, you have a lot of like historic things in there, right?
The history of crime and punishment. I got Ted Bundy's VW. I got Bonnie and Clyde death car from
That's
the movie.
the one I heard, yeah.
Well, the one I got,
Nuts,
no,
dude.
the one I got, the big one. I got John Dillinger's sedan, but the big one, OJ's Bronco.
Yes.
OJ's
That's
Bronco.
Nuts, man. That's
And people will say to me,
Yeah,
but people will say it ain't OJ's Bronco. It's Al Cowling's Bronco. I'm like, hey, for practical purposes, it's OJ's Bronco.
Okay, I got a question for you. The Size Matters campaign, I think, at least from my point of view, has stuck out to me so much. And I think that, I don't know, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you might be the most proud of that one too. I don't know. But you had to have doubts going into that. You had to, or maybe not.
No, I had doubts.
Yeah, so I want to get into your brain, man, on this one specifically, because I said it earlier, and a lot of these law firm owners, and I know you're all going to get to see him in June, and he'll talk about it more, but a lot of them are in their heads, and a lot of them are really ego-driven. And a lot of them looked at that and thought it was pretentious, maybe, and I would assume that it took a while for you to approve it or give it a shot, and then after it came out, did you get some sort of... Whenever you release a campaign, John, do you ever slightly regret it, or do you get nervous, or when you start hearing feedback, is it kind of a roller coaster where you're like, fuck, here we go again, but just hold on, guys, it's let's see if it works out. Can you walk me through your brain, how it works?
First thing I'll walk you through is... First thing I do is I show my family.
Okay,
I show my family first. That's the first thing. Like I have a billboard that I want to do, but I'm not going to do. And the billboard is me, and it says, the text is that your best offer? But the cutout is me doing this.
Oh, I think I've seen something. Okay.
On social.
Yeah. I think I saw it on the...
Yeah, that right there.
Can I pop it up on the screen during this clip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's that.
Yeah.
Now, John Morgan wanted to do it.
Okay. But
lots of my family said no. And I was so nervous about it. I sent it out to all the lawyers recently, and a lot of them said no. They liked it, but they were like, because there's a lot of very religious people that could be turned off, and that could turn them off all the way. So on that one, even though that is me,
yeah,
I didn't put it up. and I'm probably going to do it, but I'm going to do it instead of this, I'm going to do this.
Ah, got it. Okay. You found a workaround.
I didn't find it. One of my lawyers said, why not just thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
So I kind of like a, survey to the, So I do get nervous. I mean, size matters. I understood the double entendre.
Yeah.
I'm the one that came up with it. But I believe that my greatest strength in marketing is largest injury firm in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the money line.
Yeah.
And size matters falls right underneath it, and it all ties together. And so, I went with that. I caught a lot of shit. A lot of people, we know what this is all about. We know what you're saying. And of course you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And guess what? You know what I'm saying. Does that make you a dirty-minded person too? But so listen. Disruptors take chances.
Yeah.
I'm a disruptor by heart. I'm a disruptor. My big vision was the Google law firm.
Yeah.
What would Google do if it was a law firm? That's my big vision. To do that is a disrupting event, because to have a law firm nationwide, it just wasn't done before. And if you're going to be a disruptor, you have to take outsized chances and outsized risk. And with those outsized risks comes outsized luck. There is a path to luck. And so I take the chance. And look, the worst thing that happens is it becomes so vicious, that the pushback becomes so vicious. I got an ad right now that talks about trucks as killing machines. I call them killing machines. I get a lot of voicemails from truck drivers.
No way.
You called us murderers.
Damn.
No, I didn't call you murderers. I called the trucks killing machines. And but guess what? I didn't take it down. I might lose some truckers, but guess what? Those are killing machines. There's two people on the road that people don't like: truckers and motorcyclists.
Yeah.
And the one we all hate are bicyclists. What the fuck? I mean, and there's not one. There's like 1,000, and they're all
they come in packs.
They come in packs. They're all painted, and their nuts are hanging out, and the helmet's on. And you're like, get off the road. So, but I kept the truck ad, and I kept the.
And you said you kept it too because you weren't lying, right? You said they are killing machines.
They are killing machines.
So what's wrong if you're telling the truth?
Yeah, but it's like I said one time in one of the ads is out there about interest rates at mafia rates. I said mafia rates, and all these Italian Americans from up north were calling, that I'm besmirching Italians because I said mafia. I'm like, I don't consider Italians the mafia. Some of the mafia are Italians, but I don't consider the Italians the mafia. But they some of them grabbed it, and they're very offended by it.
See, nobody knows about this stuff. The stuff you deal with on the back end of all the marketing too, right?
Listen,
Everyone sees the tip of the iceberg for you.
Listen, the hate that comes, they're dissecting your double chin, your fat face, your big head. People that get to be behind a screen and anonymous, they can be very mean.
Oh, yeah.
And over the years, I've developed a very thick skin. And I'll tell you what makes the skin thicker. Money. Money makes the skin thick and green.
Yeah, yeah.
Like an alligator.
Damn, man. All right, you are so fucking cool, dude. Okay, so John's got to take a call. I just have a couple of stuff after this, but I would love to get into a skit afterwards, which we'll post on social.
And if you have more questions when I come back, I'll just go next door. You all stay here.
Sure, yeah.
I'll go next year.
I'll grab the mic from you so I'm not listening in.
Okay.
Okay, cool, we're back. John's a busy man. Had a phone call to do, but there's a couple of things I just wanted to go over with you real quick. Your hobbies, man. Most of these attorneys, they do all this so they can hit the golf course, take some time off. But from what I understand, and I listen to you very closely online, it seems like you constantly are on calls. You're constantly a part of the decision making, and you constantly got your hands in the business too. So it seems like you haven't gone anywhere. Whereas, a lot of these other firm owners kind of check out to some capacity. I'd love to hear about what keeps you so involved still. Why is that important to you? And what does John Morgan do on his time off?
Well, the reason I have 3 boys that are still in the business.
Sure.
I am less and less and less every single day, every single year. So I'm not like it was in the past, nowhere near. And I've built a team. So, and I've got smart kids, and I got smart partners, and I got smart non-lawyers who run a lot of the firm. So I'm comfortable with that. I see enough at 36,000 feet that I'm comfortable with that. What does John Morgan do to relax? Well, I live in Hawaii 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
I go to Maui from Christmas to Easter. I love it over there. My backyard is the whale capital of the world.
Oh my God.
The weather's perfect. And take my dog over with my wife. And I got a bunch of friends in Maui, so I enjoy that. Young John Morgan used to play a lot of tennis and a lot of basketball.
Really?
So I don't obviously basketball no more, but I was never a golfer because it seems like a silly game that's just too hard. When Tiger Woods is hitting the ball in the water and in the woods, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Hunting, I never understood hunting. I don't even like the taste of venison. I can smell the fur.
Yeah.
Like, why would we eat this shit?
Yeah.
And fishing, catch and release is like, that fun to me is not ripping a fish's eye out of its head and throwing it back in the water.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hunt money is my hobby. I hunt businesses. My hobby is not collecting stamps, but building the next WonderWorks, building the next downtown flavor town. I enjoy that more than collecting stamps or collecting thimbles.
Sure.
And then my big joy is I've got these grandchildren that preoccupy almost every waking minute of my life. Like today, I'm going to go do one last meeting, then I'm going to go to the beach, and I'll be there with almost all of my grandchildren and all of my children, and I'm going to go see some baseball games on Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. That, to me, is the purpose of life. The purpose of life is providing and being with your family, as far as I'm concerned. So that's my ultimate hobby and my ultimate joy.
You said going to the beach. Does John Morgan get bothered at the beach?
I do get stopped at the beach. Yesterday I was taking a walk on the beach. Probably 4 or 5 people stopped me.
Wow.
The worst thing about being stopped on the beach is a lot of them want to take a selfie with you, and then you got to take a selfie, and you look, your big fat brown fat is starting to hang out. But so you just got to kind of suck it up and take a picture. A lady stopped me yesterday. She says, I'm from Pittsburgh. I see you in Pittsburgh. What are you doing here? I go, I live here. I thought you were in Pittsburgh. I said, no. I said, what's your name? She said, my name's Marie. She says, can we take a selfie? And so then I'm sucking my stomach in
like, God
and
damn.
taking a picture with Marie from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, you're one with the people, right? So unfortunately,
so I do take the selfies on the beach.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm gonna say this. I like the fact that you said no hunt. You don't golf, you don't fish.
Nope.
Because I don't do none of those either. So that means I'm on the right. Okay, cool, man. Yeah. I want to really quickly dive into the topic of AI with you, because this is a super hot subject, and I'd love to hear your take on it, being the largest firm in America. So, from what I understand, AI really is coming in at a really high rate right now, and I have a feeling that because of that, it seems to me that it's going to eliminate the bottom layer of things. And so where that takes my mind is the companies and the businesses that have brands established are going to continue to dominate because they're here to stay, and they can utilize AI to continue to uplift. For the newcomers, though, do you think that it's going to become a lot more difficult for new businesses, new law firms to be able to jump into the industry and start? I assume sooner than later is the best, play right now, because I think companies that have brand are the only ones that are going to be alive. Or do you think I'm wrong about that?
I don't know. I think, look, when I started, there was a lot of law firms. I never count anybody out.
Okay.
Because I think youth and innovation and energy can always trump seniority. Okay. I really do.
Yeah.
And AI is an unknown quantity right now. Mm-hmm. We don't know what it's going to be, what it's going to do. We're getting ready to hire a major AI player to kind of guide us through it all. We're spending a lot of time on AI in our call centers.
Sure.
But look, AI is here. It's not going away. And if you don't pay attention to it, you're doing so at your own peril. With that said, it can also be this gold rush for AI. You can end up with more fool's gold than real gold. And what I would tell everybody out there in internet land is all that glitters is not gold. There's a lot of gold that's not gold. It's just wood painted yellow. All right, I got to go.
Yes. Okay.
You got one more question. Go ahead.
Yeah. On that subject, I want to basically, I can wrap this up too, but on the subject of AI, John, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of things people have to watch out for, a lot of things people have to look out for. I'm actually developing something myself too, and I think that's where the future is. I mean, just as an example, I've been doing this for 6 years. I'm taking 6 years of legal content, legal work, legal analytics, things that have worked on social media, viral content, scripts, dumping it into one platform to be able to provide for law firms that they can open up an app now that we want to make content with my boss today. How do we do this? I have, and that's where I guide people to use the intelligence, use the knowledge, use the brand and the experience you have to develop something new that people can use. And I think that's where you have the most utilization of AI. So we'll see you at Grow or Die. Hopefully we see these books in your hands, and John, I'll see you there.
Peace.
Thank you, man.